I took a deep breath as I stepped into my small room after work. Another day of studying, I muttered to myself. I dropped my bag on the chair and rubbed my eyes. Come on, Ethan. You can do this. Tonight it felt heavier. My name is Ethan Ward. I'm 24 and for the past year my life has been work, books, and more books. I was doing it for my future, and for Lena. She always told me, you'll pass. I believe in you. When my phone buzzed, I smiled. It was her message, still at extra class. Don't wait up. I typed back, okay. Be safe. After I hit send, something in my chest tightened. An hour later, Maya peeked into my cubicle. You're still here? Go study before your brain melts. I'm going, I said, packing my things. Lena's at class anyway. She raised a brow. Those classes again? Yeah. Hayes is teaching her. You remember him? The strict one? He helped me in college, I said. If you say so, she replied, waving as she left. At home, I opened my textbook, but my eyes kept drifting to the clock. Something felt off. Lena usually called during her break. When my phone rang, I answered fast. Hey, how's class? Fine, she said, sounding breathless. A lot to study. You okay? Yeah. Can we talk later? I have to go back in. Sure. The call ended too fast. I made tea and tried to study, but her silence bothered me. I told myself she was busy. Around 10 p.m. my phone buzzed. Was Hayes. Ethan, he said. Still preparing? Don't forget the mock test. Yes, sir. Good. He hung up. Why call this late? At 10:25 the door opened. Lena stepped inside quietly. You're still awake? Yeah. How was class? Fine, she replied too quickly. You sure? Just tired. She showered and I sat there staring at her bag. Something didn't feel right. When she came out, she said, I'm going to sleep. Okay, I said, though worry pressed on my chest. She lay down and I turned off the light. Minutes later, her phone vibrated. She grabbed it fast. I kept my eyes closed. Yeah, she whispered. I'll meet you there again. Same time. My heart froze. Her words echoed in my mind. I stayed still, staring into the darkness, questions crashing through me. She shifted beside me. Ethan? Are you awake? Just thinking, I said. About what? Stuff. Don't stress too much, she whispered. You always do. I just want things to be okay. They are, she said quickly. But her tone felt wrong. Her phone lit up again and she flipped it over fast. My stomach twisted. Good night, she whispered. Good night, I said, though sleep felt impossible. As her breathing slowed, I lay awake, listening to the ticking clock and the loud silence between us. And for the first time, doubt settled inside me like a shadow I couldn't shake. I stared at the ceiling, trying to calm my thoughts. Who were you meeting? I whispered to myself. The word again kept replaying, cutting deeper each time. Lena, I said softly. Oh? Did something happen today? No, she replied too quickly. Why? You just sound different. I'm tired, Ethan. Please. Her tone felt like a wall closing between us. I swallowed. Okay. Silence filled the room. I heard her shift away from me and something tightened in my chest. You trust me, right? She asked suddenly. Of course, I said, even though doubt had already started growing. She didn't answer. She just went quiet, like she wanted the night to swallow the conversation. I lay there listening to her slow breathing, feeling the distance between us widen. I tried to tell myself it was stress, but a quiet voice inside whispered that something was wrong, something she didn't want me to see. I turned slightly toward her, hoping she might say something else, but she stayed. The silence felt heavy. I wanted to reach for her hand, to feel close again, but fear kept me frozen. I kept asking myself why she sounded nervous and why she needed to meet someone at night. I swear I'm not losing my mind, I muttered to myself as I stared at my phone. Lena hadn't replied in 3 hours. She's probably busy, I whispered, but the words tasted like a lie. When she finally walked into the apartment, I forced a smile. Hey, where were you? I called twice. Oh, extra class, she said, brushing past me. Then why didn't you pick up? My phone died, she replied too quickly. I felt a tightness in my chest. Can I see it? I'll put it to charge. She clutched it. I already charged it in the cab. That fast? I asked. She didn't answer. She just walked into the bedroom and locked the door. I stared at the wood, wondering when simple things started sounding like excuses. The next morning at college, I tried distracting myself, but my mind kept looping. Greg slapped my shoulder. Man, you look like you haven't slept in a week. I haven't, I said. Lena's been weird. Weird how? He asked, hiding her phone, dodging questions, whispering at night. Greg frowned. That doesn't sound good. I know, I whispered. During lunch, I spotted Professor Hayes walking past. I rushed toward him. Sir, I wanted to ask you something about the study plan. Not now, he said without even looking at me. I froze. Sir, I'm busy, Ethan. His tone was sharp. That wasn't him. He had always encouraged me, coached me. I tried again. It'll just take a minute. He stopped, exhaled, and shook his head. Another time. Then he walked away. My stomach churned. What was happening? Why was he avoiding me too? Later at work, Maya noticed my distracted stare. You're somewhere else today, she said. I think Lena's hiding something, I admitted. Maya leaned closer. What kind of something? I heard her whispering to someone. She's lying about her routine. Professor Hayes is acting strange too. She raised her eyebrows. Ethan, if something feels off, trust your gut. I don't want to accuse her without proof. Wanting clarity isn't accusing, she said softly. But guilt gnawed at me anyway. Maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe I'm being paranoid. Or maybe you're ignoring the obvious, she said. That hit harder than I expected. When I got home, Lena was already dressed to leave again. Extra class, she said before I even asked. I nodded. Which building? She paused. Just the usual one. What's the name? I asked. Ethan, stop questioning me, she snapped. I just want to know where you'll be. She grabbed her purse. I'll text you later. After she left, I stood at the door, my heartbeat thundering. Something in her tone, in the way she avoided my eyes, pushed me over the edge. I grabbed my keys. As I stepped out, Maya's words replayed in my head. Trust your gut. I walked toward campus, every step heavy. If I'm wrong, I'll apologize. I'll fix it, I whispered. But if I'm right... My hands shook. The air felt colder than usual. Students laughed around me, unaware of the storm building inside my chest. When I reached the path Lena usually took, I stopped. This is it, I said. Either I find the truth or I drown wondering. My pulse hammered as I stepped forward, crossing a line I could never uncross. I slowed near the science block, watching people filter in and out. Where would she go? I whispered, scanning every doorway. A couple walked past, laughing, and I felt a sting in my chest. I imagined Lena laughing like that, with someone else. The thought nearly made me turn back, but I forced myself to stay. A security guard eyed me. You looking for someone? He asked. My fiancée, I said. She's supposed to have a class. He shrugged. Classes end early today. The word stabbed through me. If classes ended early, then where was Lena now? I kept my distance as I followed Lena across the dim campus. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. Please let me be wrong, I whispered, but the fear in my chest kept growing. She walked fast, checking her phone every few seconds, and turned toward the old humanities wing, where only one room stayed lit at night. When she slipped inside, I froze at the corner of the hallway. Why here? I murmured. I waited a full minute before walking forward, hearing nothing but the echo of my steps. My heart thumped so loud I thought they would hear it. As I reached Professor Hayes' private office, I stopped again. Light spilled through the narrow glass panel. Then I heard it, soft laughter. Her laughter. Lena's laughter. It hit me so hard I had to lean against the wall. No, please, I whispered. I stepped closer. The laughter turned into muffled voices, then something scraping against wood. My breath shortened. My fingers hovered over the doorknob, trembling like they didn't belong to me anymore. Just open it, I told myself. End this. I pushed the door. The world stopped. Lena was on Hayes' desk, her arms around his neck, their lips pressed together. His hands were on her waist. They looked so comfortable, like it wasn't the first time. Like this was normal for them. My voice cracked into the room before I could think. Lena? They jerked apart. She stumbled off the desk. Hayes rushed to button his shirt. Ethan, she gasped. I stared at them, unable to blink. How long? I asked. My voice sounded like it came from someone else. Lena's lip trembled. Ethan, listen. How long? I repeated. Hayes stepped forward. Calm down. We can talk. I pointed at him. Don't you dare talk to me. He went silent. Lena wiped her eyes. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. I laughed, but it came out hollow. Oh really? Then how was it supposed to happen? It got complicated, she whispered. Complicated? I said. You're kissing my mentor on his desk and the word you choose is complicated? Ace tried again. Ethan, please. You're emotional right now. I wonder why, I snapped. Lena reached toward me. I didn't mean to hurt you. You didn't mean to? I whispered. Then why come here? Why lie? Why hide your phone? She needed help, Hayes said. She felt misunderstood. Shut up, I said. This isn't your story to justify. Lena cried harder. I was going to tell you. When? I asked. After the exam? After I married you? After you finished your next extra class with him? She covered her face. I'm sorry. I swallowed hard. How long, Lena? She looked at the ground. 3 months. The word stabbed through me like a knife. 3 months. 3 months of lies, excuses, fake smiles, and stolen kisses behind my back. I trusted you, I said. Both of you. Hayes cleared his throat. We didn't plan for this. You planned enough to meet here every night, I said. That counts. Lena stepped closer, but I backed away. Please don't leave like this. Like what? I whispered. Broken? Humiliated? Or stupid? Ethan. No, I said, raising my hand. Don't say my name. My chest felt tight, like something inside me had cracked open. I looked at her one last time. Everything I built my future on, you just burned it. Hayes said, you should calm down before making decisions. I made one, I said. I'm done. I walked out before they could stop me. Ethan. Lena's voice cracked behind me. Please come back. Ethan, wait, Hayes called. I didn't turn around. I couldn't breathe. The hallway blurred as I walked, every step heavier than the last. My hands felt numb. My chest felt empty. Outside, the cold air hit me like a slap. I didn't cry. I couldn't. I just stared at the dark sky and whispered, why wasn't I enough? I kept walking until the parking lot lights faded behind me. My legs felt weak, yet I forced them to move. Every memory replayed in my head, twisting like a knife. I whispered, was any of it real? And the night didn't answer. I tried to scream, though no sound came out. All I felt was a silence swallowing me. I walked for miles without knowing where I was going. The city lights blurred as I heard their voices again and again. Hayes whispering her name. Lena laughing. I pressed my hands against my ears and whispered, stop, please just stop. But nothing changed. The sounds lived inside me now. My phone buzzed and I answered without looking. Hello? Ethan? Maya's voice softened. Where are you? You sound terrible. I don't know, I said. Some street near the old theater. Stay there, she replied. I'm coming. I waited on a cold bench until she arrived. The moment she saw my face, she sat beside me and touched my arm. What happened? I looked at the ground. I saw them. Her voice dropped. Lena and Hayes. I nodded. She swallowed hard. Ethan. I'm so sorry. I let out a dry laugh. I walked in on them. On his desk. Like it was normal. Like I didn't exist. Maya didn't speak. She just waited. I felt my chest tighten until the words spilled out. I wasn't enough for her. Maya shook her head. Don't say that. It's the truth, I said. If I were enough, she wouldn't have looked for someone else. That's not how it works, she said. People cheat because they're selfish, not because the other person is lacking. I rubbed my face. Then why does it feel like my fault? Because you loved her, she whispered. I breathed shakily. I don't know who I am right now. Then let me stay with you, she said. You don't have to be okay tonight. I shook my head. I need to go home. She hesitated. Will she be there? I don't know, I said. But I can't wander forever. Maya stood up with me. Call if you need anything. I will, I said, even though I didn't know if I meant it. The walk home felt longer than the whole night. When I reached my building, I stopped. Lena sat on the steps, her head in her hands. She looked up as soon as she heard me, her eyes swollen. Ethan, she cried, standing. Please, please talk to me. I stared at her quietly. She reached for me. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It was a mistake. A mistake. I whispered. That's what you're calling it? It meant nothing, she said quickly. I swear. I was confused. I was stressed. I didn't think straight. I laughed, but the sound hurt. You didn't think straight for 3 months? She burst into tears. I didn't know how to stop. I messed up. I know I did. But I need you to hear me. You don't get to decide what hurts me, I snapped. She froze. You don't get to cheat on me, I continued, and then tell me how I should feel about it. Ethan, please, she begged. We can fix this. I'll break all contact with him. I'll do anything you want. Just don't walk away. You already walked away, I said. I just didn't see it. She covered her mouth. I didn't mean for you to find out like that. I stepped back. You shouldn't have done it at all. She shook her head. I need you. I can't lose you. You lost me the moment you chose him, I whispered. She reached out again. Please don't go inside without talking. I have nothing left to say. I walked past her slowly. She tried to grab my arm, but I pulled away. Her voice cracked behind me. Ethan, don't do this. Please. I'm begging you. I opened my door without looking back. When it closed, her cries echoed on the other side. I leaned against the wood, breathing hard, feeling like I had been split in half. Her pain didn't fix anything. But for the first time tonight, I felt a small piece of strength in my chest. I felt powerful and broken, both at the same time. I was barely settled at my desk the next morning when I heard someone shout, Ethan. I looked up and saw Owen storming into the lobby like he owned the place. His face was tight, jaw ticking, eyes already filled with guilt and something like desperation. I sighed. Not here, Owen. He ignored that. I need to talk to you. I stood and walked toward the hallway. Fine. 5 minutes. As soon as we stepped aside, he said, Listen, man. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry about what happened. I folded my arms. Are you here for yourself or for her? For Lena, he admitted without hesitating. But also for you. She's a mess. She didn't sleep all night. She keeps saying she ruined everything. She did, I said sharply. He winced. I know. But Ethan, our family. I cut him off. Stop. Don't do that. Do what? Use your family stress as leverage. You don't get to show up and tell me to think about anyone else's pain when I'm the one who walked in on. My voice cracked, but I pushed through. On that. Owen ran a hand over his face. I'm not excusing anything. I'm begging you to consider forgiving her before everything gets worse. And why should I? I stepped closer. Why is no one worrying about what I'm feeling? Why am I suddenly responsible for everyone else's emotional damage except my own? He opened his mouth, but nothing came out. I said, Exactly. He took a breath. Ethan, she loves you. That's not love, I snapped. If it was, she wouldn't have done what she did. Owen swallowed hard. So that's it? You're just done? Yes, I said. For the first time, I am. He exhaled shakily. Then at least, just talk to her. No. Owen's shoulders slumped. Okay. I tried. He walked away, leaving me shaking with anger. I pulled out my phone and typed a message with fingers that felt like they were burning. We're done. I'm reporting you to the board. I hit send. Within seconds, Professor Hayes called me. I declined. He called again. Declined. Again. Declined. Then a message popped up. Hayes, Ethan, wait. Don't do anything yet. We can talk. I typed back. I don't talk to predators. The typing bubble appeared, disappeared, came back, then vanished completely. Good. I sat back, chest heaving, adrenaline crashing through my veins like a storm. For once, I wasn't the quiet one. I wasn't the forgiving one. I wasn't the idiot trying to hold everything together. I chose me. When my shift ended, I walked home slowly, mentally rehearsing what I needed to say. I expected silence. Maybe even relief. But when I reached my building, she was there. Lena was sitting on the floor by my door, tears streaming down her face. As soon as she saw me, she scrambled to her feet. Ethan, please just listen. No, I said, brushing past her. She grabbed my arm with trembling hands. Please just let me explain. You already did, I said coldly. With your actions. She shook her head violently. It was a mistake. I wasn't thinking. I swear it meant nothing. I was stupid. It was one stupid moment. One. I barked out a bitter laugh. You were laughing with him when I opened the door. Her lips quivered. I know I hurt you. But I love you. You don't get to say that to me. She sobbed harder. Ethan, please. I can fix this. I'll do anything. Just don't leave me. I stared at her, broken, shaking, begging. And for once, I didn't feel small. I didn't feel helpless. I felt done. You don't get to decide what hurts me, I said. Not anymore. She collapsed to her knees. Please, please. I unlocked my door, stepped inside, and looked at her one last time. This is the choice I should have made a long time ago. Then I closed the door on her cries, feeling powerful and destroyed all at once. I barely slept before the meeting. My head throbbed, but I walked into Dean Mill's office with one thought looping through me: finish what I started. She gestured for me to sit. Ethan, I read your email. Tell me everything. I took a deep breath. I walked in on them. Lena and Professor Hayes. In his office. Her eyes sharpened. You're certain? Certain enough that I can still hear her laughing, I said, my voice cracking. I saw them. There's no misunderstanding. She leaned forward slowly. This isn't his first complaint. It's just the first with someone willing to stand behind it. That hit harder than I expected. How many? Enough, she said quietly. But no one ever had proof. I swallowed hard. Well, now you do. She nodded. We'll move quickly. I need a statement. And Ethan, thank you for coming forward. I'm not doing this for him, I said. Or even for the college. I know, she replied. You're doing it for yourself. I signed everything, hands shaking, then stepped out into the hallway where Sarah Klein was waiting. I didn't know her well, just a face from class. She approached nervously. Hey, you're Ethan, right? Yeah. I heard something happened with Hayes. I closed my eyes. Everyone heard. She hesitated. I'm not trying to gossip. I just wanted to say, I'm glad someone finally said something. He creeped me out last semester. I looked up sharply. Did he do something to you? She shook her head. Not like that. Just weird comments. Standing too close. That sort of thing. I exhaled slowly. I'm sorry. Don't be, she said. You're the one who went through hell. If you need someone to back your story, I'll do it. Her offer stunned me. Why? Because it's the right thing, she said simply. And because guys like him don't stop unless someone stops them. Thank you, I whispered. As I walked outside, I heard whispering all around campus, soft, sharp voices slicing through the air. Is it true? I heard Hayes is suspended. Someone caught him with a student. Finally. By noon the news had spread like wildfire. My phone buzzed nonstop. Lena, please talk to me. I can't eat. I can't sleep. Ethan, please answer. He's saying you're lying. Don't let him twist this. I turned the screen over. I wasn't ready. When I reached the courtyard, Greg Norton waved me over. Greg never talked to me unless he needed notes. He rubbed the back of his head. Hey, heard what happened? I sighed. Yeah, everyone did. He shifted awkwardly. Look, I'm not good at this emotional crap, but... He paused. You did the right thing. I stared at him. You mean that? Dude, Hayes always gave me predator vibes. Half the class knew something was off. He shrugged. You just had the guts to call him out. I didn't know what to say. Hearing it from Greg of all people felt surreal. I walked toward the main building thinking maybe I could go 1 hour without falling apart. But then I heard footsteps behind me, fast, angry ones. Ethan. I froze. Hayes stormed toward me, eyes wild. You, he hissed. We need to talk. No, we don't, I said, stepping back. He grabbed my arm. I jerked instantly. Don't touch me. You're ruining my life, he snapped, voice cracking with panic. I stared at him, this man who once lectured with superiority now shaking like a child. You ruined mine first. His face twisted. You think you can destroy my career over a misunderstanding? There was no misunderstanding, I said coldly. I saw what I saw. He looked around helplessly as students slowed to watch. Ethan, please. I'll lose everything. That's not my problem, I said. You should have thought about that before you crossed the line. He opened his mouth again, but Sarah appeared behind me. Let him go, she said sharply. Right now. Hayes released me immediately as if burned. Students whispered louder now, pointing, recording, murmuring. He backed away, pale and furious and terrified all at once. This isn't over, he said. It is for me, I replied. He turned and hurried down the steps, muttering under his breath. I stood there, shaking with adrenaline, breathing hard. Watching him fall apart should have felt satisfying, and it did. A little. But beneath the anger, a strange sadness twisted inside me. This wasn't the life I imagined. None of this was supposed to happen. Greg clapped my shoulder. Seriously, man, good for you. Sarah nodded beside him. You're not alone in this. I looked at both of them, unexpected allies in a storm I never asked for. And for the first time in days I didn't feel weak. I felt like someone who finally fought back. I thought the campus would feel tense after my report, but I didn't expect the silence to be this heavy. Everywhere I walked, people whispered. Some stared at me. Others avoided eye contact. By noon, the news was official. Professor Hayes has been suspended pending investigation. Hearing those words made my chest tighten, not with fear, but with something close to relief. Greg caught up to me outside the library. "Dude," he said, shaking his head, "you actually did it." I shrugged. "I didn't have a choice." He slapped my shoulder. "Nah, man. You did the right thing. Guys like him think they can get away with anything." I let out a shaky breath. "It doesn't feel good." "It's not supposed to," he replied. "But it's justice." Justice. The word felt strange in my mouth. My phone buzzed again. "Lena." Another message. "Please talk to me. Please. I'm falling apart." I locked my screen without answering. By afternoon, I heard students murmuring about more things. Lena lost her scholarship. Her parents pulled her funding. She's staying with a friend. Hayes told everyone she trapped him. All the pieces of their world were falling apart, one by one. I didn't celebrate. I just walked. When Maya saw me at work, she smiled softly. "You look lighter today." "Do I?" I asked. "Yeah. Your shoulders aren't as tight." She paused. "I'm proud of you." I sighed. "It feels weird." "What, standing up for yourself?" I nodded. "Yeah, that." She leaned against the counter. "You deserve good things, Ethan. Don't forget that." For the first time in weeks, I actually believed her. Later that night, I was unlocking my apartment door when I heard footsteps running up the stairs. I turned, already knowing who it was. Lena. Her face was swollen from crying, eyes red, hair messy. She stopped a few steps below me, hands trembling. "Ethan," she whispered. Please talk to me." I closed my eyes for a second. "Why are you here?" "Everything is gone," she said, voice cracking. "My parents stopped helping me. I lost my scholarship. I can't even pay rent. And Daniel," she swallowed hard. "He told me I was a mistake. He said I ruined his career." I stared at her. And I have no one left," she choked out. "You're the only person who ever loved me." "That's not true," I said quietly. "It is," she insisted, stepping closer. "No one loved me the way you did. No one cared like you. I ruined it. I ruined us. I ruined everything." Her voice broke into painful sobs. I looked at her shaking hands, her collapsed posture, her desperation. It hurt more than I wanted to admit. "Ethan," she whispered again. "Please, give me one more chance. Just one. I'll spend the rest of my life fixing it. I'll do anything. Anything you want." My throat tightened. For a moment I couldn't breathe. All the memories flooded back. The nights we laughed, the dreams we planned, the promises she made with such soft sincerity. Then the image slammed into me again. Her lips on his. Her hand in his hair. Her laugh. The sharp pain cut through my chest like a blade. "I loved you," I said softly. "More than my own life." She nodded rapidly, crying harder. I know, and I destroyed it." "Yes," I interrupted. "You did." She froze. "But that's not the worst part," I continued. "The worst part is, you killed something in me. Something I don't think I can get back." She took a step up the stairs. "But I can help you heal." "No," I said firmly. "You're the reason I'm broken. You can't be the cure." Her knees gave out and she sank onto the steps, sobbing into her hands. "Please, don't leave me alone. Please. I don't have anyone." I looked at her for a long moment, feeling everything and nothing at the same time. "I'm not your savior," I said quietly. "Not anymore." She reached out weakly. "Ethan." I turned, unlocked my door and stepped inside. Before closing it, I whispered, "I hope you find yourself, but it won't be with me." Then the door shut, leaving her crying on the staircase as I finally felt the shift inside me, slow, painful, but real. I walked onto campus the next morning expecting whispers, but what I heard was louder, raw shock. "Did you hear?" someone said near the courtyard. "Hayes' wife found out." "No way, how?" "She saw the investigation notice. Then she checked his messages." I froze for a second, listening even though I tried not to. Someone else said, "Emma Hayes kicked him out last night. He was screaming in the parking lot." I took a slow breath and kept walking. Maya found me near the lecture hall. "You okay?" she asked. "I don't know," I admitted. She nodded. "Well, you should know Hayes is gone." "Gone?" "Removed from his position," she said. "Dean Mills made the announcement." I exhaled. "So it's official?" "Yeah." She studied my face. "How do you feel?" I shrugged. "Tired." She didn't push. My phone buzzed. Again. I already knew who it was. I unlocked the screen and saw the newest message. Lena, I can't go back to class. Everyone looks at me like I'm dirt. I can't handle it. I ruined everything. I hate myself. I stared at the words until they blurred. Maya noticed. Another one? Yeah, I said softly. What did she say this time? That she can't face anyone. Maya leaned against the wall. Actions have consequences. I know, I whispered. Ethan, she said gently, you're not responsible for her emotions. Not anymore. I swallowed. I keep thinking I should answer. And say what? Maya asked. That you forgive her? That everything goes back to normal? No, I said. I can't. Then silence is the truth she needs, Maya replied. Before I could respond, Greg walked past and stopped. Hey Ethan. Yeah. You hear about Hayes' wife? I heard a bit. Greg let out a low whistle. Emma tore him apart. Told everyone he'd been cheating for years. She said Lena wasn't even the first student. My stomach flipped. I didn't know that. Most people didn't, Greg said. You exposed something bigger than you realized. I didn't reply. He added, you didn't just do the right thing. You saved other people from being dragged into his mess. I forced a breath. Thanks. Greg nodded and walked off. My phone buzzed again. Lena, I know I don't deserve forgiveness. But please don't hate me. I miss you every second. I wake up shaking. I wish I could undo that night. I wish I could go back in time and never walk into his office. I ruined the only good thing I ever had. I locked the phone. My chest hurt, but not in the shattering way it used to. This pain felt distant, like watching a storm from inside a house I had already rebuilt. Later, at work, Maya approached me again with 2 cups of coffee. You look like you're thinking too loud. I'm trying to understand something, I said. What? Why I don't feel angry anymore. She smiled gently. Because you've healed enough to stop bleeding. I stared at the steam rising from my cup. I wanted revenge, I admitted. After everything, I wanted them to suffer. And now I don't need that. I looked down. Life is doing it for me. Maya touched my arm lightly. Sometimes that's how karma works. I nodded slowly. Hayes lost his job, his marriage, his reputation. And Lena? She asked softly. She can't step onto campus without feeling like everyone's staring at her. Do you feel sorry for her? Maya asked. I hesitated. I feel something. Not hatred, not love. Just the past. That's normal, she said. Pain fades but memories stay. I sighed. She keeps texting paragraphs. Every hour. Every day. Regret, apologies, promises. Are you going to reply? No, I whispered. Because nothing I say will change anything. Maya looked at me, her expression soft but proud. Ethan, sometimes losing someone saves you. Her words settled into me like quiet truth. For the first time I felt free. I got to the park early, sitting on the cool bench under the old maple tree. My heart felt heavy but strangely steady. I kept telling myself this is the last time. This is closure. When I finally saw Lena walking toward me, my breath caught in my chest. She was thinner. Her cheeks sunken, her steps unsteady, her eyes swollen like she hadn't slept in days. When she reached me, she stopped a few feet away. Ethan, she whispered. Hi, I said softly. She looked down, then held out her shaking hand. My old engagement ring sat in her palm. I wanted to return this. I stared at it for a long second. You can keep it. She shook her head. No, I don't deserve to keep something that meant so much. I lost that right. I sighed. All right. I took the ring gently, feeling a strange ache in my chest. She sat beside me but not too close. I don't even know where to start. Start with whatever's true, I said. She wiped her eyes. Everything fell apart. My family barely talks to me. I lost my scholarship. My friends avoid me. And Hayes, her voice cracked. He told me I ruined his life. He said I was a mistake. I stayed silent. She took a shaky breath. But the worst part isn't losing them. It's losing you. I stared at the grass. Lena? She interrupted, words spilling out. I know I hurt you. I know I destroyed something beautiful. I know I was weak. I wish I could go back in time and scream at myself to stop. I wish I could undo all of it. Her hands trembled on her lap. I know I lost the best man I ever had, she whispered. And that's something I'll regret for the rest of my life. Hearing her say that made something inside me twist. It hurt. And yet somehow it healed too. I don't hate you, Lena, I said quietly. She looked up fast. You don't? No, I said. Hatred takes too much energy. I don't want to carry that forever. Her eyes filled with tears again. Then why can't we try again? Because, I said gently, I'm not the same man who loved you. You broke something in me. Something that doesn't come back. She covered her mouth, stifling a sob. I know. I destroyed us. Yeah, I whispered. You did. She wiped her face, her voice trembling. I'm so sorry, Ethan. I know sorry doesn't change anything, but it's all I have. I know, I said. And I'm glad you said it. She stared at me, searching for hope. So this is goodbye? I nodded. It has to be. She let out a soft cry. I'll regret that night forever. I'll regret hurting you forever. I swallowed hard. I hope you forgive yourself someday. But I can't walk that path with you. She stood slowly. Thank you for meeting me. For giving me this last moment. I nodded. Goodbye, Lena. Goodbye, Ethan, she whispered. Then she turned and walked away, her figure growing smaller until she disappeared behind the trees. I sat there alone, the ring heavy in my hand, the air cold against my skin. For a moment, I let myself feel everything. The grief, the anger, the loss, the emptiness. And then, slowly, it all softened. A moment later, I heard footsteps behind me. Hey, Maya said gently. I didn't turn yet. How did you know I was here? I guessed, she said, sitting beside me. You always come here when you're thinking too much. I exhaled. She's gone. I know. I looked at Maya. It hurt, I admitted. More than I expected. That's normal, she said. Closure isn't painless. I stared at the empty path. But I feel lighter. Like a chapter finally ended. She smiled softly. Maybe that means you're ready. Ready for what? I asked. To move forward, she said. Really move forward. I leaned back on the bench, letting the wind brush against my face. For the first time in a long time, the future didn't feel scary. Yeah, I whispered. I think I am. I woke up that morning feeling something I hadn't felt in a long time. Quiet. Not silence, not emptiness, but a calm that didn't scare me anymore. When I stepped out of bed, I whispered to myself, I made it further than I thought I would. It wasn't dramatic, just a truth I finally accepted. Maya called as I was making tea. Did you check your results yet? She asked. I laughed. I'm afraid to open the email. Open it, she insisted. Right now. I want to hear your reaction live. I sat down, inhaled sharply, and clicked. My heart thumped like it used to before every test. Well, she asked. I blinked. I passed. With good marks. Actually, better than I expected. She let out a loud cheer. I knew it. I told you you'd crush it. I covered my face with my hand, feeling something warm in my chest. I honestly thought I'd fall apart this semester. You didn't, she said softly. You stood up. Even when you were shaking. Her voice lingered in my ear long after the call ended. I walked to the mirror and looked at myself, not searching for the broken parts anymore, but noticing the pieces I had rebuilt. Later that day, I met Maya at our usual coffee spot. As soon as she saw me, she smiled. You look lighter, she said. I exhaled. Maybe I finally am. She nudged my arm. So tell me, how does it feel to win after losing so much? I took a moment before answering. It feels earned. I didn't think I had this kind of strength. You did, she replied. You just forgot. Life reminded you. We sat outside, the breeze carrying the sound of students chattering in the distance. It reminded me of everything I'd gone through, the nights I couldn't sleep, the messages from Lena filled with guilt, the anger that once consumed me. But now, instead of feeling bitter, I just felt distant from that version of myself. I realized something, I said quietly. What? That healing isn't about pretending nothing happened. It's about accepting that it did, and still choosing to move forward. She nodded. That's exactly it. For a moment we didn't speak. She stared at me like she wanted to say something but wasn't sure how. What is it? I asked. She hesitated. Can I be honest? You always can. You've changed. But not in a sad way. In a strong way. I see it every time you talk about your future instead of your past. Her words hit deeper than I expected. I didn't do it alone, I said. She shook her head. You give me too much credit. No, I replied. All those nights you checked on me, all the times you reminded me to eat, to sleep, to breathe, it mattered. She smiled, looking down for a second. I'm glad I could be there. I leaned back. You were more than there, Maya. You kept me from disappearing." Her eyes softened, and for the first time I noticed something new between us. Not romantic, not dramatic, just something quietly growing. As the sun dipped, we walked through campus together. Every corner reminded me of a different version of myself. The man who trusted blindly, the man who shattered, the man who crawled through the aftermath. But I wasn't any of those men anymore. "Do you ever think about her?" Maya asked gently. "Sometimes," I admitted. "But not the way I used to." "How do you think of her now?" I breathed in the cool air. "Like someone from a closed chapter. A lesson I needed, but not someone I want back in my life." "That's growth," she whispered. "That's freedom," I corrected with a small smile. We found a bench under a large tree and I sat down, letting my shoulders relax. Maya sat beside me, close enough that our arms brushed lightly. "You look peaceful," she said. "For the first time in years," I replied. She leaned back. "So, what's next for you?" I chuckled. "I'm still figuring that out. But whatever it is, I'm not scared anymore." "You shouldn't be," she said. "You already survived the worst." I nodded slowly. I used to think betrayal destroyed me. But now, I see it differently. "How?" "It changed me," I said. "It forced me to grow in ways I never expected." Maya looked at me, the wind brushing through her hair. "Sometimes losing someone saves you. I told you that once." "And you were right," I said. The sky shifted to orange and pink, and I felt something close quietly inside me. Not a wound, but a door. A door I no longer needed to hold open. I stood up, looked at the campus spreading out before me, and finally understood the ending to my story. "She broke my heart," I said, steady and sure, "but she didn't break me."